there and welcome. You're about to watch a Lakehead International live webinar. It is a great way to explore what Lakehead University is all about. In this session, you'll hear insights and stories from Lakehead professors, staff, and current students. While watching, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. For now, let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today for yet another Lakehead International live session. My name is Hardika Narayankar, and I'll be your host for today. Whether this is your first time just attending a live session at Lakehead, I'm just excited that you guys are here. So today we'll be covering everything that you need to know about applying to Lakehead University, admission requirements, and also how to submit your application, some key deadlines, and what documents you'll need. So by the end of today's session, you'll feel confident about whether taking that next step towards studying with us. So let's just begin. So today we are going to be focusing on a topic that's at the top of almost every student's mind, which is how to apply. So we'll go through admission requirements, program prerequisites, any kind of language tests, any kind of key documents that are required, and of course, how to actually use our online application system. So by the end of today, you'll have a clear step-by-step picture of what you need to do to get started. And you do not have to worry, we'll break it down so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. The idea is basically to make this entire whole process stress-free and manageable. So before we dive in to the details of how to apply, let's just talk a bit about the bigger picture, which is where you're choosing to study, not just what program or what university. So Canada is an incredible place to pursue your education, not only because we are the most safest and most peaceful country in the world, but also because we take pride in ourselves on being inclusive, welcoming, and also truly multicultural. So if you're nervous about moving far from home, it is very helpful to know that many international students say that Canada feels like a second home very quickly. We are consistently ranked in the top tier globally. Canada is among the top 10 greenest countries in the world and top 11 for peace. That means that you're not choosing a great education, you're also choosing a safe and supported environment. So one of the biggest advantages of studying in Canada is that you can also work while you study. So international students can work up to 24 hours per week during the semester and full-time during scheduled breaks. So after you graduate, Lakehead programs qualify for up to 3-year post-graduation work permit. And also if you're thinking even further, you can also receive extra points for your Canadian university degree when applying for permanent residency. So now that we have talked about why Canada is a great place to study, let's just zoom in a bit and talk about why Ontario in particular is such a top destination for international students. So in fact, Ontario is the #1 choice for international students in Canada. And when you look at the benefits, it's very easy to see why. First of all, we are a public university, which is all public university in Ontario, including Lakehead, are fully accredited and some of the most rigorous quality assurance standards in the country. That means that no matter which university you choose, you're getting a recognized and a respected education. That means that meets the higher academic standards. Another big factor is that the province also has the highest graduate employment rate in Canada at 94.1%. For Lakehead specifically, it's even higher, which is 96.2% of our graduates are working within 2 years. That's something that we are really proud of. Now let's talk about steps to rolling. All right, let's get in. So there are 4 major steps that you can get to started. And while we have listed them in a logical order, you do not have to complete them in that exact same sequence. The important part is making sure that all 4 are covered before you enroll. So here they are. So first is meet the admission requirement, then meet English language proficiency requirements. Then you need to apply online. And lastly, it's submitting your documents. So let's take a closer look at what each of those steps involve. So when we say meet admission requirements, we also mean that you understand what they are.
So you don't need to have everything completed before applying. So as long as you're on track to meet them before the program starts, you're good to go. So for undergraduate applicants, you need to have successfully graduated or be on track to graduate from secondary high school. So we are looking at the Canadian university, a Canadian equivalent of at least 70% average. Depending on your program, some programs may also have additional prerequisites. So let's say you're applying for fall while currently being in grade 12th, and you may be graduating in May or June. You can still apply now. Just send us your in progress transcripts and we'll review those to determine the next steps. Moving on to the graduate applicants. You should hold or be about to complete a 4-year bachelor's degree from an accredited university. We are looking for a Canadian equivalent of 75% or a 3 or on a 4.0 GPA scale. So as with undergrad, some grad programs will also have specific prerequisites. Although do not worry because we are here to guide you through the entire process. In case you have any kind of questions, you can be in touch with us as well. So this is a very important part of the process, especially for international students. We want to make sure that you're set up for success in an English speaking classroom. So for undergraduate applicants, you have 5 different ways to meet the English requirement. It could be studied in an English language school system, completed one of our accepted language tests like IELTS or Duolingo with minimum required scores, completed Lakehead's academic English program through our language center, completed an ESL program at one of our approved pathway partner schools, or passed a senior level English course in your home country. So we give you options because we know that every student's path is different. My bad. So if you're applying directly from high school, we'll look for 3 full years of study where English is the language of instructions. Following that, if you're applying directly from high school, as I mentioned, you will be looking for 3 years of full study where English is the language of instructions. And it is okay if English isn't the official language of your country. For example, if you studied in an English language school in Nepal, that could still qualify as long as instruction was fully in English. So if you're transferring from college or university, we'll look for 1 year at university or 2 years at a college, again with the instruction in English. And in these cases, we also ask that your country's official language is English. So since English proficiency is so important, let's just go over this in detail. We accept a wide range of test results like IELTS, TOEFL, and Duolingo. Each has a minimum score that you'll need to meet. Now, let's just say that you fall just short. So you do not have to panic. We have an academic English program here at Lakehead where you can upgrade your English and then move directly into your degree once you meet the requirements. Important note, some programs like nursing, education, health science, public health, and psychology have higher English proficiency requirements. So make sure you double check if your program is one of them. When you are ready to get started, the place to go is our website, which is lakeheadu.ca/apply-now. That's where you'll find everything in one spot, which is application links, program details, and of course, the most up-to-date deadlines. So now let's just break down what those deadlines are actually look like. So fall 2026 intake, the first round consideration deadline for most programs is March 1, 2026. So if you're applying to a graduate program, the recommended timeline is by February 1, 2026. Many of those programs fill quickly. So once they are full, they eventually close. So the earlier you apply, the better. So the main takeaway from all this is basically do not leave your application to the last minute. The sooner you apply, the more options you're going to have. And if you're ever unsure, our team is here to help you. And also, if you're wondering about specific graduate programs, whether there's still space, the best thing you can do is check our website, which is lakeheadu.ca/programs. That page is always kept current and with which programs are still open and which ones may be closed. Moving on. So once you have submitted your application, what's next? It's time to get your documents in. And this part is really important to make sure your application can be reviewed completely. So for undergraduate applicants, we'll ask for official transcripts from your current or most recent school, English language test scores if required, and in some cases, some additional program-specific documents as well. For graduate applicants, we will need official transcripts and proof of degree, English test scores if applicable, and supporting documents. These vary by program. So, for example, your CV or your statement of intent. So once you're in the application portal, it will actually show you a checklist of what's needed for your specific program. So it's super easy to follow. All right, let's start by visiting this page. You might want to bookmark it because this is where your journey officially begins. This page is which is going to lead you directly to our undergraduate and graduate application portal. So before you apply, here are a few things to make sure your application goes smoother. So select two program choices. Yes, two, because that's included in the cost of applying. So we always encourage you to make the most of it. So for example, if you're interested, let's say in business, but also have an eye for psychology, this is your chance to keep your options open. Next point is setting aside at least 20 minutes to complete the online application in one sitting. So you can save and return later, but we recommend completing it all at once to avoid missing out or forgetting something. And the last is having your payment method ready. So once your fee is paid, your application is officially submitted and sent to the admissions team. Once you're on the portal, you will see a screen that looks like this. You will scroll down to the Create Account button. If this is your first time applying through Ontario University's application system, then you will be asked to put down all your details, which is your given name, middle name, and family name, and your date of birth, email address. Now, this is the important part to make sure that the name you enter matches your travel documents, especially your passport, because this helps match everything correctly with your immigration paperwork and ensures that your offer letters and official documents do not create any issues at the border later on. So if your passport has two last names or specific middle name, make sure those are included here as well. And as for your email address, please do not use any kind of spam account or ones that you do not check that often. This is how we will be contacting you about your application status, missing documents, any kind of offers of admission, any kind of time-sensitive updates. So pick an email that you'll actually monitor and make sure it's spelled correctly. Okay, next up is creating your username and password. So here's a quick tip. Use something that you'll remember, like a combination of your first and last name. For password, it should be strong with a mix of letters, numbers, and also symbols if possible. And if you're not sure what to include, just click on the question mark icon next to each field. It will pop up with some guidelines to help you meet the system requirements. So once your account is created and your application is submitted, you're officially in the system. And our admissions team can begin reviewing your file. So now let's take a closer look together at how the undergraduate portal works, and we'll walk you through a sample example application step by step. Give me a moment. Okay. So now if you have been paying attention, you'll notice I have mentioned this a few times, but is to go to lakeheadus.ca/apply-now page. That's the page that you need to keep handy. So you can save it, bookmark it, just keep it handy. So if you forget, you do not have to stress. What you can do is you can just come to lakeheadu.ca and click on the international button. And you can see like this big purple button over here, which is called Apply Now. Once you click on it, you will come to this page where there are two buttons called Apply Now Undergraduate Programs and also the graduate programs. So for now, we will be walking you through the undergraduate programs. So let's just go here. So this is the page which I had mentioned earlier. You can create an account by clicking here. But if you already have an account, you can just simply log in. As of now, I'll just log in from my own credentials. Yeah. So the very first page you'll land on is this welcome page. I will log in with my credentials so you can see exactly what the process looks like. Okay. So this page gives you some basic details about your application and any kind of other helpful notes. From there, we move on to the introduction page. You can either go it from this button right here, or there will be this left categories on the left side panel. So over here, you can read about Lakehead and just get an overview of our campuses, any kind of admission entry points, language requirements, just taking some information about Lakehead in general. So let's proceed to browse programs now. So over here, you can check how to select your programs and what kind of programs we do have. Quick side note, the Indigenous Access programs you'll see listed over here are only for Canadian Indigenous students. So as an international applicant, you'll want to choose from degree programs that are available. So let's say that you already know what you want, which is, we'll just select business for now. So you do not have to worry because this won't be in stone. So once you click on it, it's not like it's gonna get submitted right away. So let's just click on business for today's demo. So when you click into a program, you'll see that there are a lot of links, which is admission requirements, visiting Lakehead. It's just gonna give you some detailed program info, but the important section is where you'll set your program start date, course load, and also year level. So for international students, your course load will always be full-time. For year level, let's just say it's going to be either first year, or if you're coming right from high school, then it would be advanced standing. So there will be an option to select for advanced standing if you're already coming from right from high school, or if you are already completed some kind of a post-secondary studies. So let's just select a major interest. We'll select Thunder Bay. Oh, this is a dual degree program. Let's go back. For expected date of enrollment, we can select 2026 fall. For major interest, let's just select Commerce Thunder Bay, and then your year level, it could be either first year or advanced standing. So let me just select Save Program, and it is going to show over here. So let's just say I'm interested in business, but I'm also curious about, let's say, economics. So I can just click on Add a Program button and go to economics and add that as my second option. So economics, again, the expected date of enrollment, I'm going to select 2026 fall, September. Subject for major, I'm going to select economics, arts, and Thunder Bay. And your level, as I mentioned earlier, you can either select from first year or advanced standing. I'm going to choose advanced standing for now. You can save your program right here. So you can see that both of your options are just mentioned over here. Now, let's just say that you do not want business as your first option and you want to put economics. You can just, reverse the choice number by clicking on edit, by clicking here and then putting choice number as 1. Give it some time. And now economics is your number 1 choice and business went into the number 2 choice. Once you have made all this information or edited it, you can proceed to personal information. Here, some of your details are already filled from the initial setup, like your first and last name. If you'll also have the option to add a little, add a title, preferred name, or even a formal last name, if that applies to you. This helps us match any kind of old documents or transcripts from your current file. So you can fill all this information out. You can fill your gender, your date of birth. You'll also have to verify whether you identify as First Nations, Métis, or you Inuit. Again, that is part of Canadian applicants only, so you can click on no. Next question would be whether your parents or guardians attended university and your citizenship information as well. So you can click on no, whatever would be the status of it. And for citizenship and language information, status in Canada would be study permit. So let's just select study permit and your country of citizenship. I'm just going to choose Nigeria for now, but it would be your country of citizenship that you need to put. So for date of entry, you will be choosing 2026 August because we selected 2026 fall intake. So August is the month. That's just few weeks before the classes start. So you can put August and then first language English, and you can click save and continue. Over here, you can just review your personal information before proceeding. So we'll just now proceed to contact information. Here you'll provide your home address, mailing address, and phone number. So your email already will be listed and you'll need to just verify it. That means that you need to check your inbox for a confirmation email and clicking the link. So for your address, start by selecting your home country and then fill in. So you can just click here, add, and you can fill in all your details over your address, your country, your state, postal code, and city. If your mailing address is same as your home address, then what you can do is you can click this small checkbox which says my mailing address is the same. Post that, you can add your phone number over here. For your phone number, select the type, like if it's mobile or home, and then you can just put on your phone number. Please make sure that you only enter numbers and no dashes or any kind of special characters are included in there. Once you have filled all these things, you can proceed to applicant type. So most of you will select international student applying to a full-time undergraduate program over here. Now you'll also see a question asked whether you are applying through an accredited academic agent. If not, you can skip this. If yes, then you will need to provide your agent's name, your agent's ID, and all the information that are being asked. Do you agree to allow the university to release your application status information to the named agent? So all this information will be about your agent. Next up is if applicable, provide the year you previously applied and or the year you previously registered. So this basically means that if that applies to you, include the year so that we can match up your previous file to your current one. So if you have previously applied, you can just choose the year that you applied. If you're not, then you can just keep it like that. And if you have previously registered, you can click here as well. Once you are done with that, you can just click on continue and then proceed to the next tab, which is academic background. This is where you will be listing every school that you have attended, which is high school, any kind of post-secondary institutions. That means that regular schools, private schools, any kind of night school, summer school, or online school. One tip over here is you do not need to list your school's virtual platform, just list the actual school. So let's just click here, add institution. And let's say your institution is high school. We will put the start year as 2021 and month could be May. To date, let's say you're gonna get graduated in 2025. Institution location, it could be anything since I had previously chosen Nigeria. Let's just see. We have Nigeria here. Yep. So now this list is gonna show me all the schools or all the institutions that are there in Nigeria. Then from there, the system will give me a list. And if my school appears, I just click on it. And if it doesn't, then I'll choose not in list, which is gonna be at the bottom. Either at the bottom or at the top. It should be at the bottom. Yeah. As you can see, this section you can select if your school is not listed in any of list in that list mentioned above. So when you click here, there will be a manual pop-up that will be manual field that will be popped up, and you can just put your name over here, institution's name. For now, I'll just select any random institution. Then you'll be asked to add in your highest level of highest year level achieved. Let's just put years. Field of study, you can just put whatever the field of study was. Any kind of diploma degree type that you achieved. The diploma degree length. And this diploma/degree status means that you can select from conferred, expected, and not expected. Basically, what this means is whether it's already completed, your degree or your diploma has been already completed, or if you're expecting it to be completed. So for example, if you're finishing high school in May 2026, you would select expected over here because you have not yet graduated. And once you put expected, then you can put the year you're supposed to get your degree. Once you have filled everything up, you can just save and continue. Since I have not filled this page properly, I'll just click on cancel. Once you have filled everything and submitted, it should pop up over here, the institution name that you had mentioned. For the demo, let's just proceed to the next step, which is transcript requests. So if you're currently studying in Ontario, you can request your transcripts through the system. If you're studying outside Ontario, your school need to send your transcripts directly to Lakehead. That's the last step. And then the last step would be to just review and submit. As of now, you can see I have gotten a lot of errors because I did not fill this form properly. But this is where you'll carefully go through everything and agree to the declaration in the end. So once all these things are done and you're ready to just click on submit, you will be redirected to the payment gateway. So once your payment goes through, your application is finalized and officially sent to the admission system. And at that point, you have officially started your journey with Lakehead. So that gives you a full walkthrough of the undergraduate application process. And next, we are going to be shifting our gears to look at how graduate application works. Just go back to our presentation. All right. So before we jump into our live Q&A session, I would also be showing you about the graduate application guidelines and showing you how the step-by-step process is and what to expect along the way, so you can, make sure that your application stays stronger. One thing before we begin is you must make sure that you have selected your program, and if your program requires one, that you have a potential supervisor in mind. This is especially important for theses or research-based programs. So course-based programs do not need a supervisor, so you can skip that part. Okay. Let's move on. The application itself is going to just take 20 minutes to complete, and you'll need a method of online payment ready at the end, as I mentioned earlier. So let's just go and have our step-by-step tutorial. So we can come back to our app Apply Now page, and over here, we'll just click on the graduate programs button for now. So this is the application form that will be shown, which is where you can, create your account, and you can just fill out this form: first name, middle name, last name, any kind of previous name. You can add your date of birth. If you have a SIN, you can add that. If you do not have it, you do not have to add it. It's not mandatory. And when you complete this form, you'll be sent the login credentials to log into my services, which is your student portal. So you need to provide an email address that we can send your Lakehead login credentials to. Make sure the email address is the one that you check very often, and it's not a spam one. Now, another question they will ask you is, have you previously attended, applied to, or been employed by Lakehead University? You can either select yes or no, depending on your status. And they will also ask you if you are an international recruitment agent, for which, if you are just a student, you do not have to put on yes, you can just put on no and then submit it. But for now, for today's demo's sake, I already have my login credentials, so I'll just sign in through that. So once you're in, you'll see the dashboard. So if you haven't started an application yet, it's time to explore your programs. So you can either search for something specific. So let's just click on view programs for now. And this is all the list of programs that we have. You can just select whichever ones you want. But if you have something specific in mind, you can just check this search box field over here and put on whatever program you're interested in. So let's just say I'm interested in engineering programs. The list of all engineering programs will be mentioned, and the open dates and the deadlines for that. So you can click on more depending on whatever you're interested in. So let's just say you're interested in Master of Science or Biology. You can get all the biology-based courses over here. There are two views that you can view. You can either view it through this card format or a list format. So for now, let's just go ahead with Master of Science in Biology. The winter 2026 application is closed for international students. You can select the fall 2026 application. So now you can see they have given us an information about the program, any kind of admission requirements for the program, and whatever is required, like let's say official transcripts, proof of degree, so you can prepare for it accordingly. For now, for the sake of today's demo, let's just click on apply. So when you click on a program, it will first take you to an overview page. This is where you can read more about the program, as I mentioned. And once you do that, you'll see an application number pop up over here, and your task list will appear. So these are all your tasks that you need to complete to submit your application. One of the first questions that they will ask you is about your student status. So let's just click on pre-application questions, and then this is the student status. You need to click on international if that applies to you. Then choose your program and any kind of specializations that you're interested in. So program of study, are you a current student at Lakehead? No. Let's just put your intake as September 2026. That's what we're looking for. Any kind of options over here, they will make you select if there are any options for the specific program, let's say project, thesis, or course. They have mentioned theses. So you can select the thesis part. Now, if you select thesis, then as I mentioned earlier, you have to name a potential supervisor over here. So just make sure you have one and their contact details. So you can add all the details over here. Okay. And then click on study load, which would be full-time. Now over here, you can select the campus that you're interested in. If you're interested in Thunder Bay or Aurelia, that depends on totally you. So for the sake of today's demo, I'll just select Thunder Bay. And then what you can do is you can save and continue editing. If you click on mark as complete, it will be still saved, but the thing is you will not be able to make any kind of changes. So I would suggest click on save and continue editing so that you can just come back to it and make any changes you require. So as of now, if you can see on the left-hand side tabs, it has a green circle, half green circle has popped up. That means that this is not saved, and you can come back and edit it anytime. So let's just move on to the next step, which is the application form. Over here, you need to mention all your personal information, which is your current address, first name, middle name, last name, exactly as shown on your passport, as I mentioned earlier. This is very important to make sure that all your documents have the same name, and they can be ensured that during the immigration process, it is all looking all good. Okay. So you can fill out your birth date, your gender. If you have a social insurance number, you can add that. Over here, you can see they will ask you to add your address. So depending on your address type, you can select and then fill out your details. So if you live outside of Canada or the United States, you need to select foreign for province and state. So over here, there will be a section called foreign in the end that you need to select. And if you also live outside Ontario, you need to select not Ontario for county. So let's just find that. Yeah. So it's over here, not Ontario. Once you have filled all these details, you can put your phone number type, and then your phone numbers. Again, you do not have to put any kind of special characters or any dashes. You can just put the numbers and it will be all set to go. Now you can just click on save and continue. For now, I have not filled anything properly, so that's why it's showing some errors, but for you, it will be proper. Moving on to the next steps, which will be the unofficial transcripts. So here they have given you all the details on how you need to attach your files or attach your transcripts over here. So they have even given you accepted formats, and if you do not have an access, they have also given you a mailing address to have it directly sent to Lakehead. Following that, you can also attach your proof of degree over here. then your CV, and finally your cover letter. So for cover letter, they have given you some task instructions that you need to follow. Once you follow that, you can just attach the file and submit it. Now, for academic references, you will need to at least have two. They have given you a minimum two recommendations that are needed. So make sure that you request two recommendations from your peers or from any kind of faculty that you may have. Once you have done all that, your submission fee should be over here. So this is green button says click here to pay. Once you click there, you will be redirected to the payment gateway and you have to pay your submission fee. And once that is all done, you can save and continue. Once everything is done, you can click on the mark as complete button and if that's what you want to do in terms of you need to make your submission. You can even go before clicking there, you can just go through all your details once again, make sure everything is all good, and then click on mark as complete, which is gonna which is gonna help you, submit all your application properly and your application goes straight to the graduate studies team for review. Okay. So I would like to thank every one of you who joined today's session. You can click on or you can scan this QR code in case you're interested to join more such sessions or get to know more about Lakehead. Or else, if you want to join our online community, you can even find us on social media. We are there on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Lakehead International. So it would be good to have you join our community, wherein you'll be able to see a lot of behind the scenes content, what it is like to be a Lakehead student, and just campus life in general. So thank you so much for joining us again. And I'll see you in the next session. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. You can connect with us on social media. You can find us at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We hope to see you in our next live webinar. Bye for now.